All right. Let's get some music going. Good morning. How's it going today? All right. So today's going to be a little bit of a different day. Oh, here we go. I want to share in a group. I am also tired. All right. So can everybody hear me okay? Is the music too loud? I don't have my mic up in my face like I normally do. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Let's figure out somewhere to put my water. I'll go right there. I added a light so that hopefully people can see me a little bit better. And like I said, today's going to be a little bit of a different day. I finished a book over the weekend. And in fact, I need to do a little bit of a check here. Figure out what my word count was. I did 25,000 words on Saturday. So I don't know if anybody came and hung out with me. I know some of you did. Multi-fandom girl, certainly. A couple other people. But we hung out on Saturday and we got some writing in. Hoo-wee. Yeah. I did 20,000 words on Friday and 25,000 words on Saturday to finish it out, this book. So I did about 80,000 words, just over 80,000 words last week. And my goal is to do no writing today. I'm going to instead read some books and do some plotting. I'm going to be working on the next book in this series, and we're gonna. So I'm gonna read Iron Tyrant through all the way through from beginning to end, and then I will start working on that. But before I get into that, before we start running sprints, because I do hope to still run some sprints today. Before that, we're going to take some time today and we're going to chat. I'm going to be talking a little bit about some exciting stuff, including the sheep, which is at an astonishing $321,000 this morning with 10 days to go. Absolutely insane. Just really blown away by it. Like, really just sort of incredible. All right. Mark asks, do I have a marketer and do I have a guy or a gal that uploads my stuff to Amazon? So I do have a marketer. I do have somebody who does a lot of my marketing for me. Her name is Chloe, and she is amazing. Really amazing. So I've been working with publishers for a lot of my recent stories and a lot of my recent books. And they handle all of the uploading. I'm just doing the writing. As I get back into self-publishing, my first 10 books were self-published. And I think I'm going to go back to self-publishing to a limited degree, not completely. I really like working with publishers. I have really enjoyed, love working with Athon, and Blackstone has been fantastic. Both of my publishers have just been awesome. Like, they've been so good. And they're very kind, and they have handled many things for me. They give me a lot of grace, which I appreciate. But I do think there are a couple of stories that don't really fit into the general market. And so I'll probably just self-publish them and, not really worry about it. And in that case, either I'll be doing the work or I'll be getting a PA or something like that to do it. What's up, Strange? Welcome. But yeah, I'm going to be at 8 o'clock here. We'll give people some time to join. And at 8 o'clock here, I will be kicking off. I'll be kicking off just a bit of a chat about what's going on with me and everything that's happening. Excuse me. I am excited because Advent has broken 2,000 reviews on Amazon, which is great. I'm pumped about that. I need to... There we go. Yeah, so Strange. I randomly jumped on Saturday in the evening, and I did like 6 hours of writing, and that was fun. I enjoyed that quite a bit. Yeah, I had a good time. Ended up working from about 6 o'clock till midnight, which was good. And now, just going through, accepting all the changes. Pretty exciting to get done with the book. I'm excited to get into this next one too. I really do love this like hyper-focused writing style that I've slowly developed over time. There are some challenges with it too, and I think there are some things that it does, like some bad habits that it encourages. No, strange. You know, I think it's awesome. Sprinting alongside other people is really, really good. There's something about it. There's something about mirroring that drastically, or body doubling as they call it, that drastically increases the likelihood that you're actually going to get work done. And so I'm super happy that you played a sprint and you followed along and you just, worked alongside it. I think that's so cool. So Alp, when I write in these really concentrated bursts, I tend to end up, because I'm so hyper-focused, I tend to have a very straightforward, like, point A to point B plot, right? It really ends up just being this, like, straight line plot. And that's not always awesome. I think that if I were to give a story more time, I would ultimately be able to come up with a better story, right? And and so the question is, and that's let me walk that back a little bit, because I might not be able to come up with a better story. In fact, my first idea might be my best idea. It's not normally the case though, right? If you come up with 100 ideas, your 100th idea is probably going to be better than your first idea. And so when you just sort of sit down and burst through a story, it's more focused, and that's good normally. In general, that's good, but it's not always good. And yeah, I would absolutely agree. The longer you spend on a book, the less it is the same book. The more likely you are to end up writing multiple books and introducing confusion into your story. And so that's the counter argument, right? That's the other side of the argument. Is just that you end up going the opposite direction, and instead of having a focused and streamlined story, you end up with a story that is that loses itself in the telling, right? So I would 100% agree that that there's trade-offs on both sides, right? But I do think it's important to recognize the weaknesses in a particular system. Now, I am mitigating some of the weaknesses because while I did, I am bursting through the story, and I'm using a specific editing model to ensure that it's, quality enough. I'm now sending this book off to a developmental editor, right? And I really like the work that she does, and I think she really does improve my stories. And I'll get it back, and then I'll go through and I'll work through it again. And the lighting in here, man, keeps changing. That's weird. I don't know why my camera keeps shifting from like a whitish. It like keeps getting brighter and darker. That's super annoying. I should figure out how to change the setting. Well, I will say that it's taken me a long time to get to this point where I can dictate for such a long time. And even my brain starts to fizzle out. But I have worked really hard to try and build for myself a schedule and an environment that lets me do this. And so that's one of those things where you really just need to commit yourself, and you need to practice. All right. But I think you can do it. I fully believe that you can do it. All right. So let's see. Why is my live stream not visible? What the heck? What the heck? Do I have to? So I don't quite understand how all of this technology works. Which is super frustrating. I wonder if I were to click go live now. I wonder if I could mirror this. Boom. Okay, one sec. I am just setting up the Facebook live stream, and we're gonna hopefully this is gonna work and not just destroy everything. Oh man. Okay. Where do I post in a group? Boom. All right. So let's go ahead and see if this is actually going to work. Let's do it. So it might just completely and totally derail everything else that I'm doing. I don't know. I don't know. Will it? I don't think so. I think we're good. Well, hello, everybody. Live stream has started. Oh, my goodness. Facebook gives you all sorts of cool things. I can create a poll. Hey, you folks on YouTube, what question should I ask? What would be a fun question that I can ask? Hopefully everything's coming through okay. Hopefully my video's good. Hopefully my glasses are not too reflective. Hopefully my music isn't too loud. You can let me know though. Have you backed the sheep? Can't wait to kill mutant sheep. No. I don't even know what this is. All right, I need to create another, that's a good question. But we're gonna say series. First option is Titan/Tower. Second option is Battle Mage Farmer. The real question here is, can I actually Can I actually remember all of my series? That's the real question. Oh no, I can only do 4 options? What the heck? Boo. I can only do 4 options on these polls. We're going to do unfinished. And nobody's favorite is Soul Caller, which is sad. It is lame. All right. So, Tower Series, Dreamer's Throne. What's another one that I could do? Tower Series, Dreamer's Throne, Exlian Syndrome, and Iron Tyrant. Okay. So I've created some polls, which is really fun. I can drop those in. But we are going to be chatting about some different things. So I am curious for everybody who's on YouTube, who's not on Facebook, because actually you should go to the Facebook group and you should join it, and you should participate in the poll, because I can't do a poll on YouTube as far as I know. Can I? I don't think I can do a... Not from Restream, at least, or OBS, which is what I'm streaming to YouTube through. I can't do it from there. So you should go to the Facebook group, which is... That is not it. Where are my groups? Boom. It's called Novaterra Fan Club. So this is the I just don't get how Facebook works. I can literally never find anything that I want to find when I go to Facebook. I literally can never find anything I want to find. It's so frustrating. Anyway, you should go to the group. You can request an invite if you are not already part of it. But we are streaming on, or doing a live on Facebook, and I'm streaming as well. But hello, Brandon. How are you doing? I am popping up everywhere. Pretty exciting. We'll go ahead. Apparently it can't. It can't. Huh. I don't know. Good Lord. Okay. Anyway, so I would just like to say that I'm getting very distracted. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. Let's see. I don't know how to activate these polls. Bummer. But that's okay. Because we're here and we have a chat. Anyway. So. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I am pretty tired this morning. Over this weekend, I ended up working pretty much a full day on Saturday. I did about 9 hours of writing, which is a lot. It's a lot of writing. But super happy with what I got done. Super happy with what I wrote. Really just very fun. And I'm pretty excited about the end of the Exlian Syndrome series, which is what I was writing. So I spent the weekend really just trying to get the book in the final book in the Exlian Syndrome series, book 6, in the best shape possible, right? Books 1 through 3 are out in that series, and the 4th book comes in December, and then I think in March, or maybe April of next year, and then in July or September of next year, we'll see the last book in the series, and I'm pumped for it. I'm really excited with how it turned out. There might be a couple more things that I want to tweak, just little bits that I want to tweak, but I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and excited for everybody to read it. It's kind of crazy though to be so close to the end of another series. I'm not done. Like the book from here will go to another editor, a developmental editor, and then I'll get it back and I'll make some more changes, some more tweaks, and I'm really just, I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about being so close to the end of this series, right? Because I've spent so much time thinking about this world and writing these characters, and I love them. I think they're just absolutely fantastic. I have to try really hard not to accidentally kick my power cord and shut this whole thing down. But really just sort of conflicted about how this is or about being done with it, you know? And I will say that in my usual style, I have not completely closed everything off. I've closed all of the loops, right? All of the important loops have been closed. But one of the things that I really believe is that when I am writing a story, the end of the story that I'm telling is not the ultimate end of the world, right? It's not the ultimate end of the characters. They continue on even after the last page of the book is closed. And so I find it impossible to not give them a breadcrumb towards their next adventure. as a reader, I really like imagining all of the things that could happen, right? All of the things that could be part of their story, even if I'm not going to necessarily address them or get to read them, right? So I love that. I love that that way of telling stories and that sort of expansive scope. And in some sense, there is an epicness to everything that I write and everything that I like to read. So with that in mind, I've closed out this book, right? The last book in the Exilian Syndrome series, book 6. And it's called Light's Ascension. And yet, I've also given this little breadcrumb so that the adventure could continue. Even if only in your head, But really, it has been an absolute delight to write these books. And I hope that people enjoy them as much as I have. The characters are wonderful. I've really found myself inspired by them as they wrestle through hard choices and as they navigate difficulty. Especially the main character, Mark, who has to decide who he's going to be, right? Is he going to be a man or is he going to be a monster? And so I just really have enjoyed that. But it is weird. It feels a little bit weird wrapping up a series like this. I feel a little bit lost. Now, I have the advantage of many, many other worlds that I can immediately dive into, that I can sort of bury myself in. But, as I get closer to the end of the Exilian Syndrome, I do find myself feeling a slight sense of loss. And I don't know, maybe you've experienced something similar, as you've gotten to the end of a series, reading a series that you really like. It's interesting, to think that I'm not going to be spending a lot of time with these people going forward. So I do want to show you something, though. This is the sheep. And this is really what I'm here to talk about. This whole live stream is really for the sheep. So the sheep is a board game. And to sort of spin the story behind it, a couple of years ago, I decided to, I wonder if, sorry, you know what? I'm going to do something really quick. Video capture device, add existing, haha, boom, wow, my face is in the screenshot now. Okay. There's like nowhere good to put it on the screen. All right. That's going to be where it is. Okay, so this is the sheep. And a couple of years ago, I started working on this game with an intern of mine. And I got an intern, and we were building a game, and it was mostly for fun, and partly because I thought it would be an interesting thing to do, an interesting, experiment to make. And I honestly never imagined it actually getting to this point. But then I met some other people, and long story short, and it is sort of a long story, but long story short, we ended up making a board game company. Actually, are you guys interested? Let me know in chat if you're interested in hearing the long version of the story. It is kind of funny how everything came about. So if you're interested in hearing the long story or the long version, let me know in the chat. But suffice it to say, at the beginning of 2024, so at the beginning of last year, we created a board game company called Zero Strategy Games. All right, I got at least one yes, which means that the rest of you are going to have to suffer. So the long version of this is that I was just doing life, right? And this was in 2023, and I was busy out of my mind. I was writing books, and I was working on all sorts of different projects, and I was really trying to be aggressive about my writing. And all of a sudden I get this email. So one thing you should know about me is that I love conventions. I love conventions. I love people. I like talking to people. I love hand selling my books. There's a part of me that wants to just start a traveling bookstore or roadshow and just and tour around the U.S. and talk to people and sell them my books. And unfortunately, that's not a very efficient way for me to do things, just because I have a family and we're really sort of planted in our community, and so I can't really afford to spend that much time on the road. But whenever I get a chance to go to a convention, I love to go to a convention. But I get this email, and it's for a convention that I had gone to with the Worldcraft Club, which, for those of you who don't know, is a world building podcast that I've been a part of for years and years and years. And I went to this convention in 2022, and it was fine. It was a little bit small, wasn't super exciting, but we had a great time. We had a fantastic time, right? But I wasn't planning on going back. And then I get this email, and the email says, "We're really excited to see you in 1 week." Remember, I had not been planning on going back to this convention, so I had not thought about the convention in a year, like an actual year. And I get this email that says, "We're really excited to see you in 1 week. Just a reminder, here's your booth number. You should come on, or you should come and bring all your stuff. It's going to be a good time." And I thought to myself, oh no. Did I, in typical Seth fashion, sign up for something and then immediately put it out of my mind and never put it on my schedule? And so I messaged my my co-host for the podcast, and I was like, buddy, what's going on here? Did you sign up for this? And his response was, oh no. Did we sign up for this and just never put it on our schedule? And so we just had no idea. But not being the person I am, I didn't want to have signed up for it, forgotten, and then just not show up, right? I'm not going to do that. But my co-host, James, was like, "Hey, I can't go. I can show up for a little bit on one of the days, but I genuinely cannot go to this thing. I can't set up. I can't tear down. If we're going to do this, it's not going to be us. It's going to be you, and you're on your own." So I looked at my weekend, was like, "Hey, wife of mine, can I please go do this thing that apparently we signed up for and we just completely forgot about?" And she sort of looked at me for a long time and then was like, "Fine, Seth." I mean, she's lived with me for a while. We've been married for 17 years. And so she knows how I operate, which is very much by the seat of my pants and with just an absolute lack of organization. And so she was like, "Fine, whatever. You can go, for the weekend." So I called up a friend and was like, "Hey, can I crash on your couch while I go to this convention?" And they were like, "We're not even going to be in town, but sure." go ahead. Okay, cool. So I went to the convention. I packed up all of my books. I went and I set up my booth, and there were a couple of suspicious points. The first is that my booth wasn't in the same place, and my booth was much smaller. And that was confusing to me because the previous year, I had a large booth, a double booth, on sort of one of the front corners. So I got lots of traffic. And now I was sort of stuck in the middle of the convention hall in a much smaller booth. And I thought to myself, this seems weird. I wouldn't have booked this spot. I wouldn't have done that. So I'm sitting there, and then I noticed some other weird things. First of all, there are a lot of empty spots on the showroom floor. There are a lot of places that just nobody's set up. And there are not many people at this convention. And so things started to get, I was starting to notice that, maybe there's something sketchy going on here. And so I called up James, my co-host, again, and was like, hey, you better do a deep dive and figure out whether we actually applied to this convention or not. As it turned out, we had not applied to the convention. And so our best guess is that they just had a bunch of empty spaces and they wanted to fill them. So they sent out an email blast to everybody who had been at the convention the year before and had not rebooked. And they assigned them a booth to just see if they would show up. And me, being the completely unorganized individual that I am, thought to myself, well, maybe I did sign up. I hadn't signed up. I was gaslit into going to that convention. And so I show up, and it was rough. It was really rough. On the first day, I maybe talked to 50 people. On the second day, on Saturday, which should have been the busiest day, I maybe talked to 35 people. And on Sunday, I saw one person who wasn't a vendor. One. That's awful. So I went to this convention. I was essentially conned into going to this convention. But I believe very strongly, that life is what you make of it. And so even though I ended up spending what was really a complete and absolute waste of time for my writing business, spending 3 days and a lot of mental headache, trying to find books to sell, because I don't normally keep books in stock, right? I get books when I'm going to a convention, and then I just get rid of them afterwards. So I didn't even have stock. I was missing books in the middle of series, and it was really just a lot of I don't know. It was rough. It was pretty rough. But while I was there, I ran into somebody who I had done some work with before, an artist. And I was like, hey, what are you doing here? And he mentioned that he was there with a couple of friends, and they had a game company. And so one thing led to another, and I got into conversation, and I saw this game, which is Shuffle Dungeons. And let me actually just pull it up, if I can. Boom. So I saw this game that they had called Shuffle Dungeons. And I thought to myself, man, that is a fantastic looking game. It's a modular dungeon builder using tiles that you can play. And the tiles are double-sided, which means you can either play them as tiles in your dungeon so that you can move forward or to try to escape, or you can flip them over and you can equip them to your character to make yourself stronger. And it's cooperative and it's super fun. It's infinitely replayable. It just is super good. Well, Shuffle Dungeons was the game that they were there to pitch. And over the course of the conversation, we connected and realized that because I was trying to do this board game in the background, right, for the sheep, and we realized that really we were aiming at the same thing. We were all pointing in the same direction, and rather than split our efforts, we could actually just combine forces and do it even better. And so over the next 5-6 months, we talked through the logistics of it and ultimately came to a place where that's exactly what we did. And so the company that owned Shuffle Dungeons closed it down. They closed their company down. We started a new company bringing Shuffle Dungeons along. And in 2024, in 2024, so last year, we successfully kickstarted Shuffle Dungeons. That game is available. It is fantastic. If you're interested, you can go to Amazon. You can buy it. You can go to our website, zerostratgames.com, and you can buy it. And then because that game was pretty much done, that's why we took that one out first. And then over the course of 2024 and the early part of 2025, we took the game that my intern had built in 2023, and we finished it, and it became The Sheep. And The Sheep is a comedy horror game, cooperative as well, where you're playing as shepherds who are escorting caravans across the wilderness because the apocalypse has arrived. But the apocalypse is just sheep. So one of the really fun things about this game is the sort of the comedy aspect of it. So you're trying to survive this sheep apocalypse, and it's hilarious and it's tension filled. You're not guaranteed to succeed, but it's got this amazing art and this amazing feel, and these really cool eldritch sheep plushies. I don't know if you can see that there right above my head. They're absolutely fantastic. Oh, hey, we got a bunch of people who are just there for the plushie. But yeah, there are 6 unique characters that you can play, and each of the characters has multiple upgrade paths, so it's incredibly replayable. Shuffle Dungeons was a fantastic game. It is a fantastic game, and my kids love it. As soon as I brought the sheep out, they were like, "Oh, this is even better. We want to play the sheep." So, anyway, tons of mutations, tons of event cards. Every piece of art in the game is unique, and incredibly fun. Incredibly fun. So, as you saw, this is on Kickstarter right now, right? We have 10 days to go. We've hit $321,000, which is insane to me. That is literal madness. And if you haven't backed it, and you don't, and you're interested at all, please do back. If you're not familiar with how Kickstarter works, it's really just buying the game, right? You pledge for one of the amounts. There are a bunch of different rewards that you can get. You can get just access to the pledge manager, which just really opens up access to our back end, so that afterwards you can go ahead and add copies of the game. You can add, you know, the wooden insert, all of that kind of stuff. Or you can be, you know, I'm just here for the plushie. You can pick up one of these really fun Eldritch Sheep plushies. I've gotten 2 of them. You know, you'd think that considering I am a part owner in this company, they would send me a free copy of the game, but they don't. They make me buy it. But we have a bunch of other stuff as well, right? Just the game, $59, which is a discounted price. This is going to be an $80 game when it launches. Then there's the Sheep Deluxe, which comes with the sheep, and it also comes with a wooden insert, which is a specialized wooden insert that we had made to organize all of the pieces. It's really nice. They did a fantastic job. It's beautiful, first of all, and really a really fun way to organize all of the cards and all of the little pieces, because there are a lot of pieces to this game. And then you also have, and this is the one I had picked up, the all-in bundle, which comes with a candle, it comes with the STLs, it comes with the sheep plushie, the game itself, and the wooden insert. So, like I said, if you're not familiar with how Kickstarters work, you essentially pledge the amount of money that you're going to, or for the tier that you want. Once the campaign ends, that's when you have to pay for it, right? That's when your card is charged, and then we start production. Now, in a lot of Kickstarters, you're pledging before the project is actually finished, which means that there's going to be some lag time before it goes into production. In our case, this game is 100% ready to go. We are ready to hit print on everything. In fact, in 2 days, they're going to be starting our production prototype, our final production prototype. And once we get that and approve it, they're going to be immediately starting production. Which means that fingers crossed, this game is going to be shipping before Christmas. And people will be getting their copies very shortly, either by Christmas or very shortly after. So this could be a fantastic game for somebody. If there's somebody in your life who loves games, or you think is going to vibe with the setting, that you can get it as a Christmas gift. Like I said, the turnaround time on this campaign should be, barring any catastrophic, outside of our control shipping issues or anything like that, it should be really, really quick. And we are absolutely excited to get it into people's hands. There's also, though, a digital version of this game on TTS. So if you're not familiar with TTS, it is Tabletop Simulator. And that's just a digital platform through Steam that allows you to play board games with other people. We've replicated this whole thing in that we've replicated the sheep, all of the components of the game, in Tabletop Simulator so you can play it. And more importantly, if you jump on the Discord for the sheep, you can actually play test. We are running regular play tests. Let me go ahead and drop the community link for anybody who is interested. Now, this is going to expire. That is not what I want to do. Let's see. So this is the Discord for the Sheep, or for Zero Strategy games in general, and it is so fun. It is so fun. All right. But yeah, you can jump into the Discord. They are running playtests, digital playtests that you can sign up for and join. Really, it's hard to describe how fun this game is. So let me actually see if I can get a good picture here. Nope, that's a bad picture. Okay, so Multi-Fandom Girl asks, is this comparable to Dominion? So Dominion is a deck building game. This is not a deck building game. Instead, you're going to have a character board. I don't know if you can see this here. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. There you go. So you're going to have a character board, and that character board is going to give you different abilities. Each character is unique and different. You're going to have equipment cards that you're going to get, and each of those is going to be unique and different. Over the course of the game, you're going to be acquiring curses as you take corruption, and those curses are really powerful, but if you take too many curses, you explode. So you have to be careful. And then you're going to be escorting the caravan across the map, and the sheep are going to be spawning and swarming you, and you're going to have to fight them off. You can kill them easily during the day, and at night they mutate into absolutely terrifying monsters. Let's see if we can get some of the sheep mutations. Yeah, so you can see here we've got the magma ram, we've got horned up and void, and each sheep mutation has weaknesses or immunities or neither, or both, and a special ability, and they also have different health and damage that they do. So I would say that it is a little bit more complicated than Dominion. It's not quite as straightforward as Dominion, and it's also it takes a little bit longer than Dominion, but it's cooperative, which means that if you have a group of people who you like to play games with, this is going to be a fantastic game for working together to fight against the sheep. The other really cool thing is that there are two game boards. So you are going to be able to get just a ton of replayability in this game because your game experience is going to be different every time, right? You have new characters, you have multiple upgrade paths, you have different boards. The caravans move independently of the players, and so you can't predict how they're going to move across the board, which means you're going to have to scramble to try to save them when they get swarmed by the sheep. It really is. I play a lot of games. I play probably too many games. The thing I like to do the most in life, besides writing, is playing games. And I can honestly say that The Sheep is one of my favorite games of all time. Partly because it's so replayable, and partly because of the tension that builds over the course of the game. So that's The Sheep. The Sheep is, like I said, it's on Kickstarter now. Really excited for people to get their hands on it and get to play it. And that'll happen really quick. Really quick. As a side note, the rest of our games are available on Kickstarter. I'm sorry, on our website or on Amazon. So we have a couple of different games that are available there. And since this is my stream, and all of you guys, or some of you, not all of you, but some of you read my books. We also built a Battle Mage Farmer D&D one shot or module that is super fun. And if you like Battle Mage Farmer, you should absolutely check it out. Let's see if I can pull it up. Why is it unavailable? I don't know. It is no longer in stock. We're restocking, it looks like. But Battle Mage Farmer Tales of the Ecclesia is a 5e compatible like module. That's super fun. I've had a great time running this for people. So, anyway, thank you for listening to me prattle on about the sheep and about what we're doing with Zero Strategy games and Battle Mage Farmer and all of that kind of stuff. Sweet. Thanks for joining the Discord. Appreciate it. All right. So, I now have to figure out what I just got a bunch of emails that I had snoozed previously. Wow, my email inbox just filled right back up. All right. So, at this point, unless anybody has any super pressing questions, I think we're going to be done with this portion of the stream. I now have to do some reading. I'm going to be reading through the Iron Tyrant series today, and I'm going to be doing some other things as well. But I really do appreciate all of you jumping on with me. We're going to have a regular stream tomorrow. We'll be doing our regular sprints, and I hope to see you all there. I probably, as I'm thinking this through, I'm probably going to go sit somewhere more comfortable to do my reading, which means I'll be ending the stream here all the way around. So, first of all, thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it. Thanks for those of you who pledged to the sheep. I saw we had got a couple more backers while we were waiting, and I really do appreciate all of you. It's been so encouraging to have you getting on consistently with me to write. When I look back at so I keep track of how much I've been writing each week. And as I look over that progression, it's really clear to me that one of the things that helps me the most in my writing is having other people work alongside. And so I just really appreciate all of you and your consistency in showing up to these streams and getting your work and getting some work done. You know, it's awesome. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you tomorrow. I'm excited to do it, to get back into it. I'll be writing again. We'll be drafting again tomorrow, and it'll be fun. So thank you all so much. Have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Enjoy. I hope you get some good writing in. If you're looking to get some writing sprints in, just kick up one of my streams from last week, and you can work alongside me there. So Thanks, everybody. I'll see you later. See you tomorrow.